How's it going there, everyone? It's Mr. Zen over here with a brand new Nanatsu no Taizai chapter review. And for today's segment, we're going to be talking about Nanatsu no Taizai chapter 179. For this chapter, I like the way that the author Nakabe is going along with these chapters. From the previous chapter, we were actually witnessing how Britannia has become darker in a sense, and you get to see how all the inhabitants are actually, turning over a new leaf and actually, like, I would say, worshiping the demon clan now because of the fact that they become basically the gods of, I would say, of Earth. That's kind of like, in a sense, kind of like any alien invasion that you could say. A powerful entity comes into the play, and all of a sudden, you know what? Hey, you're my new god. We'll just follow you, and then just don't kill me. But like I said, Nakabe kind of went on his own direction instead, and goes along that there are still some rebels and freedom fighters still going along the fight. And Arthur in this chapter again, he showcased himself that he is still the ray of light shining in this chapter. We get to see that Arthur is still fending off against the demons with his own rebellion army after like from the previous chapter, and we get to see that his army even looks to Arthur as not only a ray of light, but also as a savior and as someone to look forward to because of the fact that the seven deadly sins are over with. But I like the fact that Arthur himself wasn't really saying that he's like the ray of light himself, as if he's like, I like the way he was pretty modest in the chapter, even going as far as saying that Nashi, the samurai warrior, he was actually praising him, saying it's all thanks to him that I'm actually here, like as if he trained him or something. I'm here thinking like, wow, that character must be really strong too if Arthur is actually worshiping him. Because remember, Arthur, he is not really a weak character, as you can say. You gotta remember, if I remember back then in the previous chapters in anime, he fought against the one of the royal knights, what's his name, Hendrickson, and Hendrickson even was kind of surprised, like, wow, I have to be careful around this kind of guy. And when you look back, Arthur himself, it's just like there's just so much speculation going on with this character. It's like, what is exactly his power yet? Is it super speed? Is it Flash? Like, we don't know what his power is, or maybe maybe he stops time. We don't know. But Arthur himself is someone to look forward to in the later chapters because of the fact that we don't know what his power is. Even in the chapter itself, the author kind of stated himself that you could tell that the characters in the chapter are actually kind of focusing on the fact that Arthur is really strong, and there's something about him that is actually emphasizing that will lead on to future chapters. And I like the fact is the cat. That's what I'm really leading on to, is the fact that the cat that he's been carrying with him seems to have now finally talked. And I actually, for one, am kind of interested now at this cat that he's been carrying around. Like, it's just like every time he's fighting, like the cat's still there, like it's just positioned on his shoulder, and it finally talks, and it talks with a kind of, I wouldn't say like a weird phrase. It just pronounces his p's with b's, or b's with p's. So basically, like, it just has like a little tiny accent. I when I look at the cat, I kind of picture the cat kind of talking with like an English accent. Or, well, little butter, would you like to talk to me tonight? Like something along the line of that. Like that's the way I kind of see the cat kind of talking with it. So I don't know if the cat has a name yet or anything. I'm not too sure, but even Arthur himself was surprised the fact the cat was actually talking. And I, for one, thought maybe, okay, now this cat has to lead on to something, and the cat may also be the source of Arthur's power because of the fact that when you look at the cat, even Nashi stated when Arthur was fighting in this chapter, the Nashi was looking at saying that you're not. It's like it was a very bold statement in itself. You are not going to die as long as that cat is next to you. And I, for one, was like, wait a minute, what? What is this cat then? Is this cat like Death himself saying, you know what, I'm gonna cheat Death and everything's gonna, or maybe it's just like a phase, like I would say like Toby from the Naruto, like if the cat kind of like makes his attacks or anything that's trying to kind of phase through. That's what I'm kind of assuming or speculating. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of speculation as to say what this like that cat can do, or maybe it's the source of his power that, and the cat is actually just slowly transferring the powers to Arthur. That's to say, maybe then Arthur will then shine through, and when Arthur actually finally gets his new powers, then the cat will disappear, or maybe transform into like a giant jaguar, or Arthur will, or maybe he'll transform into a sword. Because remember, Excalibur, the sword Excalibur hasn't really came out yet. So that goes along to say maybe that cat will transform into the sword, it's his new sword itself, and have a personified weapon. We don't know yet. Like I said, this chapter is like it could be. I'm sorry, this series, it could lead on to very much more important things. Nakabe, the author, he literally is like I like the way he's going on with chapter, and that chapter's still not even done yet. I'm sorry, folks. The chapter then goes along the line and goes on to say, I would say that like he does it in more of a natural setting. It shows that even a lot of the knights of Britannia are still on the run, and yet they are looking through, like, I would say hell. Like for me, the knights are actually going through a living hell. The people, yes, they are living through it, but there is more of fear, only fear that they're gonna die. But the knights are more going along the fears because they're not gonna die. They're more as to say that they're being targeted specifically for a main reason, because of the fact that they're 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 more so more on the fact that the demons are collecting them just for the sake of energy, getting their energy back, you could say. And I, for one, think that's a little more gruesome with the fact that knowing that like, they're not gonna die. No, they're actually just meals itself, and it's kind of sad that the fact that that they're only targeted just because they're knights. And I like the way that the authors kind of did that little twist in itself, because the fact that back then, it was the seven deadly sins that were being targeted. Now it's the Knights of Britannia. And I love it, the fact that that's actually pretty funny in itself. Like in the whole entire first arc, or the first sets of arcs that Nakabe has shown, we actually get to see that the seven deadly sins were being targeted and persecuted. Now it's just the Knights. And I love the fact that now the Knights are witnessing what the seven deadly sins have experienced. And then it goes to show along the line that, like I said, Nakabe is doing the lovable twist and turn right there, and it's pretty awesome in its sense, because of the fact that that means that we'll get to see the knights actually transform into more powerful persons, or character progressions probably might go along, and we get to, and I love the fact that Nakabe is actually introducing so many new characters into this brand new arc that's leading on to there, because the fact that at the end of the episode, yes, folks, let me stop right there. Grab your seats, folks, because the boar hat is still alive. Yes, folks, because at the end of this chapter, we get to see Elizabeth still alive, and she is running the tavern herself. And we also get to see the fact that she actually saved this knight that was being persecuted by the demon knights. And I love the fact that, because the fact that Nakabe set this whole setting, like I said, it's just the setting that he's creating. It's so beautiful, majestic. I love the way that he's also doing the artwork in a sense as well, because of the fact that when he does the artwork, it's showing a dark and luminous, and it's very spacious, giving a calm, sincere, but yet an overlooming kind of presence in itself, because of the fact that you don't know that there's danger to come, but yet it also could be a very serene place as well. And Britannia is showing that there are two sides of Britannia. It's it's a very dark place. It's a very scary. It's a very frightening place to be at this time. But yet nature itself is very beautiful, and it still shows a place to escape for freedom. But yet like it just leads back to being that very frightening place, because it's so vast and beautiful. Like I said, the author Nakabe is showing a beautiful setting of Britannia right now, and I'm loving the way he's showing it. It's so beautiful. I don't know if you viewers are seeing it, but that's the way I'm seeing it right now. And Nakabe also is looking at the fact that he does his little twists and turns on how each of the characters, like how they're witnessing the board. I would say anything, because I would say all the characters are more of the fact that they're frightened of the fact that anything that moves is after them, and the fact that even people themselves are turning more into, like, I would say, demons themselves, because they're turning themselves, saying, you know what, let me get your soul, let me get your this, and yada yada yada, and it's kind of frightening in itself. And I'm sorry to say, but I love the fact that he did a little tease right there, that like, oh, his, like that, where like this character, I don't know his name yet. I'm not too sure, but like he saw the Boar's hat came crashing down. Like I said, the Boar's hat is still doing the tradition where it constantly moves place to place, and yet it's still, he kind of goes along to say like a little comical sense with where he wakes up in the tavern, and and Elizabeth is right there giving free beer, and all the characters are there just drunk and having a happy time. Yeah, yet in the dark, how to say, like in the whole vast majority of it, it's still a dark place. Like I said, it's just so comical how Nakabe is doing this in itself. You know, it's just so hilarious. But I love, like I said before, the setting in itself is very perfect because the fact that we don't know what's still yet to come. But I'm still wondering about is Arthur. What is Arthur's? I mean Arthur's. Arthur. What is Arthur's really main goal now in this entire new arc? Is he going to be the main character? Where are the other sins? Is this new character they introduced at the end of this chapter? Is he going to be? I would say. He be one of the leading roles now as well, because could he be also part of the new Seven Deadly Sins, or is he going to be joining a part of a new rebellion army that the Knights of Britannia are also trying to stir up? Because remember, all the Knights of Britannia are all split up, so we don't know where they're all headed at. You know, and that's the thing about it, is the Knights of Britannia are split up. That's what they're making them weaker, while the demons are all a collected bunch, and they're all together and a giant entity attacking all these individual sectors, which kind of makes Britannia weak because of the fact that they're not focused or planning something together with only small fractions attacking demon army. And like I said before, the setting is very perfect. Like I said, it's a very quest and adventure to say as to what each and every character is actually trying to find themselves in this brand new arc. And we also don't know if Meliodas is alive or if they actually revived him or anything. They just brought down the Boar's hat. That could also lead to speculation. Is Meliodas alive in this next chapter? Because remember, we're gonna get 2 new chapters in this whole new entire. You could say this new week. You know, so I'm kind of anticipated and excited for reading the next new chapter in itself. But folks, that's it for today's chapter. Let me know down what your theories, speculations on this whole entire chapter. I love this new chapter, by the way. I love the setting, love the art, I love the way the pacing is going. It's very nice. It's not going as fast, but it's slowly teasing us as to say how this arc is slowly proceeding into. And like I said, what are your thoughts on Arthur? What about the cat too? Did you guys like the way the cat was talking? Did you guys love the way that Arthur is actually being showcased now? Were you guys shocked to say that the Boars Tavern is still up and running? You know, like I was expecting that at the end of this chapter. I really wasn't. I'm sorry, folks. I really was not. I actually was kind of shocked. You know, and I was kind of like mind bottled at the fact that, you know, that Elizabeth is actually running this. Not one of either Seven Deadly Sins or Bonner himself, but Elizabeth herself. And also, what do you guys think of, what's it called, of the demon clan? What are their next goals? That's what I'm kind of curious too. What are they actually up to now that they conquered Britannia? Are they trying to revive more demons? Are they trying to bring back the demon king into the planet Earth? Like, we don't know yet what to say. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about it. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you guys enjoy my channel, all my content, or just like to hear me talk, subscribe for more content, more Nanatsu no Taizai in general. And as always, folks, have a wonderful day. I'm about to take out the next review for the next chapter, because remember, the second chapter came out this week. So 2 chapters, folks, for this week. So 2 reviews of me talking. And as always, folks, have a nice day.